Alrighty, and we are live. Hello. Welcome in, everyone. Today we are kicking it off with OneNet. It's a gaming hub for the Secret Network, and we are going into depth with Play Bushi, which is the game distribution platform that they're building. And we have with us Leon, Brandon, and Flip. Now, this is Interchain FM, where we talk about all things tech, interop, NFTs. I am the co-host, Gene. Our live main host is Chango. She is out in Korea right now, so we'll be taking care of these guys for now. And yeah, we'll break it down. So I'm super into NFTs, right? And I think I seen Stash RT, this really cool looking like Fortnite game, and I was like, whoa, that's not here, right? That's not around because I don't see that very often. And no, yeah, indeed, I went into the Twitter, and you guys have well, kind of like two companies. So let's talk about them. Maybe let's talk about the pitch a little bit. But yeah, for right now, go ahead and I guess introduce yourselves, Leon, Brandon, and then Flip.
Yeah, sure. I guess I'll start off. So, what's going on, guys? I am Leon. I'm currently working on the Onenet and Bushi kind of projects launching on the Secret Network. My background has been in the Secret Network for about like a year and a half, just previously working at Secret DAO and Secret Nodes Blockchain Explorer. So, I'm a huge Secret Network guy. I've been in there for a while now, and that's kind of where my background is. I won't really bore you guys with my like web2 stuff because that's not what we're really here for. So I'll just go ahead and like pass the mic over to probably Phil. Phil, you want to go?
Sure. Yeah. So I'm pretty much handling the creative direction for Bushi, as well as environment creation. Been working on games for almost 10 years now, alongside with Brandon and pretty much the rest of the game dev team. We've kind of been on this journey together for a long time now, and we're pretty much super excited to offer something new to the industry. And yeah, Brandon, you want to go now?
Yeah. So I am the lead programmer for Bushi. Like Philip said, we've been working together for a long time. I've started making games like 15 years ago. I haven't stopped since. It's just kind of a great passion of mine. And yeah, that's me.
Sweet. Thank you guys. So yeah, so let's start with Play Bushi, right? So am I saying it right? Is it Bushi?
It is
Yeah.
Bushi. Yes, you're getting that right.
Yay.
Yeah. So I guess we could go over exactly like the projects that we're working on, if that's what you'd like to do.
Yeah.
So I'd like to, I guess, kind of start off with the Onenet platform itself and kind of tie it into why we're building two projects at one time, which is kind of, a little bit new to the space. But so as a brief overview of what Onenet is, it's a game distribution platform. So it is kind of like a decentralized Steam. You can kind of think about it for anybody who's a gamer out there. It's just kind of like a hub where you can host your games, you can launch your games, you can manage your assets specifically that relate to those games, powered by the Onenet or powered by the One token, which will probably be releasing Q1 or Q2 of next year. And yeah, it's just pretty much it's also a combination of like an NFT marketplace, but mainly specifically just for the things that relate to the video games that are launched on there.
Right.
Another, I guess, a small like cool thing about OneNet is that we offer kind of like guidance and help for other game developers to be able to launch on the platform. We've had a bunch of different game developers reach out to us already, trying to collaborate on, launching their video games on that. And that's pretty much what ONET is. And then I guess I can just pass off the Bushi part to the actual game devs here. But I guess a little tie-in with Bushi itself. The main reason why we decided to do Bushi with OneNet is just to kind of solidify ourselves as developers and I guess experts in the field of video games, whether it be Web 2 or Web 3. It's kind of like a show of like proof, I guess, that hey, we can build both a Web3 platform as well as a Web3 game. But I could just pass over the stuff to the game dev team.
I would also add on real quick to the reliability of the platform, because we're really working in a new space right now that's being explored in many different ways by different people. And, places like Steam aren't too reliable, as we saw them pretty recently take off like crypto-related things off their platform. Right now, Epic Games has a launcher and they're saying that they're going to be supporting NFTs, but we don't know that for the future, if that's going to change or remain the same. So developing our own platform is pretty much the most reliable way to ensure that we have a game that has a consistent place to run, that people can rely on and log in and know that they can play our game, as well as future blockchain related games can come onto our platform and be hosted by a platform that's dedicated to this rather than having it as something on the side.
And when you guys say platform, are we talking? So you guys are built on Secret, right? Or are you guys your own like dApp chain?
We're built on Secret, so kind of like a layer 2. We don't have our own like network like Axie Infinity has, or
Right.
any of those like other video game places. Yeah, we're very into the privacy features that Secret Network has, and that's kind of where we want it to stay. The ecosystem that we have, I think, is very, open to the whole privacy portion of Web3, and that's pretty much why we're on Secret. It's the whole privacy, as well as the connections that we have within the Secret Network itself. The community itself has been super huge for us. So, yeah.
Okay, so I got a couple questions. One would be like, so why privacy when it comes to gamings? But then also on question for OneNet. So is OneNet essentially a platform that is bringing game developers to build on the platform? And are you guys also helping them build, or how exactly does what exactly is ONET's job, I guess?
Yeah, so Onenet Platform is kind of, it tackles a lot of problems that we see with game development now. So I guess a big thing that we have going on for us within our OneNet token is the fact that we have a grant like pool, and as well as a community pool that looks to kind of bootstrap some of these smaller projects to actually have them launch on the platform. The platform itself, it doesn't necessarily mean that they have to build on Secret, or it doesn't necessarily mean that they have to build on a specific network. The whole interoperability portion means that they can just be hosted on there, and the one token can be, utilized on their video games. The NFTs can be utilized on their video games. So as long as they're hosted on the OneNet platform, it doesn't necessarily mean that they have to specifically be launching on the Secret Network. But to answer the question of like why privacy, it's just, to me, and I guess to the rest of the team, it just really makes sense to be, private in the specific things that matter. Like, for example, like the sensitive information that you don't want just lying around, like an email, passwords, even sometimes like public addresses, or what you've done with the public address or wallet. All that stuff should, at least in our minds, should be private, just because that is your own personal information, and it should be a standard. However, there are ways for other people, if they don't really care about, privacy. A good thing about Secret Network is that there is a privacy by default, but also as an option. So there are multiple things that can be private as well as, just public in general. But mainly the privacy portion just comes from, protecting our users, not having any data leaks, things like, like for example, if our central servers were to get hacked or anything, we don't store anything that is sensitive information. So if it does get hacked and in a one-off world, there's not really any sensitive information that a bad actor can actually access. So things like that just make sense to us for the future of like Web3 and crypto in general. Privacy is a standard. And it's just a way to, just protect users.
Yeah, I think I think a lot of people can also learn from this move that you guys are taking as far as privacy. We got a lot of comments here from people joining in. There's this is interesting. Leon, they're rooting for you. They're with you on web privacy. Privacy is important. Now, okay, so let's dive into Bushi as the game, right? So I've been playing Fortnite for the past 2 weeks. I've just got into Fortnite, and I see that it's a similar aspect of the game. So talk to me about how do you guys go about building the process of the game? How long does that process take? What does the team look like? For how long have you guys been building this? And what have been some of the greatest challenges as far as building this? And then also very important, right? Why bring it into Web3? What was that bridge? Why bring it into Web3? And also what challenges you face into Web3? I know a lot of gamers, or not gamers, but like game hubs, they're not for crypto yet entirely. So you guys are making that difference. Talk to me more about that.
I'll go ahead and speak on the process of you talking about making the game.
Yeah, lots of questions there. Yeah, talk to me about the process of making the game. What does the office, right, look like as far as game developers go? What is the time length? What is the investment that you guys have put into this game prior? Yeah, talk to me about that. And then also later we'll hop into the milestones of where the game is at currently.
All right, cool. So we've been working on the game for about 2 years now. In the beginning, we started with about 5 people, all game developers, and now that quickly expanded to like 8 people. Now we have about 8 to 10 people working on the project right now. It started off in Unreal 4 development, and when Unreal 5 came out, we immediately started trying to migrate to that. So the game's going to be built on Unreal 5, and as far as the team goes, we have 2 really strong programmers, myself included, a fantastic art team, about 4 people in the art team right now, an incredible game designer.
So it seems like a pretty big team so far. Is there like a total kind of like number there?
Yeah, only about 8 people right now for game development specifically.
You can
but
kind of
Some
look at it as
contractors too.
Yeah, like 8 core developers. Sorry, just 8 core developers, and then we hire quite a bit in terms of like necessity as of right now. But yeah, that's how it started off. It's about 8 core developers, or like a founding team, you could even call it.
Right.
Yeah, and we're expanding now as we speak. So we're definitely looking to expand the scope of the game as much as we can.
There you go for anyone listening. And I know these these projects and these teams, especially to develop a game, is it's pretty expensive. How have you guys bootstrapped? How is how are you guys financing all of this?
Yeah. So
Mostly personal
go
investment,
ahead.
lots of effort on our part, and our own personal investment has gone into it to make up the most of it. That's kind of taken us through the 2 years, maybe like 1 year, 10 months. And then recently we got the secret network grant, which we've really been making use of to fill in the gaps where our talents we just don't have the skills to do certain things.
Yeah.
So that's where the secret grant has come into place.
I'd probably also just like a small background on exactly like the experience that the team brings into making Bushi, right? So we have been creating Bushi for about 2 years now, and mainly at the beginning it was more so like a passion project for us, working in the traditional market, working for like game studios, AAA game studios like Blizzard and EA, and on our off time, on our passion projects, just working on Bushi. And then somewhere along the road, it kind of like quickly turned into more of like a real game, especially when we started doing like play testing with our friends and stuff like that. It became a real game. And so at a certain point, a lot of us just ditched the Web2 market, the traditional market, and just went straight into Bushi and kind of started developing it full time. And I won't lie, like just recently, as we were like almost kind of running out of funds or kind of running out of like, you know, things to do for Bushi, kind of at a standstill, we were able to utilize some of the connections that we had at Secret Network to kind of take Bushi to the end process where we're finally ready to launch. We're launching in December, and then we're fully launching in April. And that's all just thanks to the grant application that we made with Secret Labs at Secret Network. And with like a $75,000 like grant from them, we're finally able to take it over the finish line. So the 2 years prior, the things that actually cost a bunch of money, like millions of dollars to actually create, was a lot of our own like sweat equity. You can think about it's just like grinding, making the video game, not really making money, eating ramen, like stuff like that for a lot of us.
Yeah.
And then we're finally at a stage where we're raising money. We have like a seed round going on, which I won't talk too much about, but this is like finally where we can take Bushi over the finish line and kind of also at the same time create something more sustainable with OneNet. So
Yeah. No, yeah, that's amazing. We did I also have like a NFT project, and we looked into the gaming sector for a little bit, and we saw how difficult it was. A lot of projects they outline on a roadmap that it's going to be a game or a play to earn, and nothing. It's hard to build, right? I think maybe people do have the right intentions, but to actually do it, it's I mean, you guys have 2 years on your belt, and then prior to that it's a lot of experience. So yeah, it seems like you guys have a solid team. When is the game launching?
So the alpha access is actually looking to launch around December, and then fully launching in April. But I just kind of want to quickly touch on the fact that you said like some of these other projects that are looking to build, they've already raised their funds, but they're starting at like, year one or pretty much year one. Um, and that's kind of like the opposite approach that we took. We took an approach where we built first. We didn't really market anything. We didn't really like, you know, ask for funding specifically to actually build this game. We built the game, and then now, just to take it over the finish line as well as just raise more capital to scale the game, we're now looking to market it. And now we're now looking to add like additional funding. But the greatest part about Bushi itself, in my opinion, I think the others can probably agree with me, is that it's ready to launch like this year versus something where it's ready to launch in like 2 or 3 years. And we have our scope of the game actually already fleshed out and ready to go. So it's not like you can look at the scope of Bushi and say that, oh, it won't be out until like 3 years from now, or the quality won't be good up until like 3 years from now. I think Philip and Brandon can probably understand that, like, you know, these video games take so much money to create. I mean, like, so much money to create. But
Yeah.
as of right now, we've done that hard work, and we're pretty much ready to go. So
Yeah, definitely. Tons of money. I also want to add in mostly time is the biggest issue as well. A lot of games are pressed for time, for deadlines, and that's where the quality starts dropping fast because you can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have the time to really flesh out the game, the mechanics, and quality test it, then you're not going to have a good game. And I think that's one of Bushi's strengths is we've had a lot of time already to make sure the core of the game is strong and it has a strong foundation to stand upon and continue to build on top of.
Yeah.
What
The
is
time.
what? Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say the time also means experience. You know, a lot of people come into gaming thinking it's a problem that you just throw money at, but that's not true. I've seen a lot of game projects fail even with millions of dollars behind them just because they think, oh, you know, I'll throw money at this and all the problems will be gone. So like I said before, I've been developing with Brandon for 10 years. He himself has been developing 15, and that's come with a lot of failures along the way. So we've learned a lot in that process to get to this point of the last 2 years. So if you look at it in a broader scope like that, it kind of means a lot more compared to some projects. You know, they're getting the funding, but they don't have the game development experience. So you also have to ask yourself, like, how reliable is that going to be down the line? So you need to wait 3 years for a result, but how reliable is that result going to be?
Exactly.
Whereas, you know, where the gameplay footage that we're showing, that's us playing the game. And sometimes that's us playing a game with a few private testers. And we can see that they're having fun. We already have the validation that our game design works pretty well.
Talk to me about this exactly. So, one, what exactly makes the core of a game like successful? And then so what are the challenges? Like you said, you know, companies invest even millions and they still fail. Why? What's the challenge that you guys face there?
A lot of games kind of fail in the pre-production phase, if we're being completely honest. The core of the game is basically the main mechanic or the small group of mechanics that the game is built around. And if that core mechanic group is not fleshed out properly, designed properly, tested properly to make sure it's even fun, if it even works, then the rest of the game is just going to fall apart around it. It doesn't matter how many features you add in. If the
Can,
core game loop is not fun,
right.
people are not going to enjoy the game. It's going to fall apart.
Can you give us some examples of one
Well, like Fortnite, for example.
right.
You said you were getting into Fortnite recently. The core mechanic of Fortnite is the base building. And actually it became kind of the core feature because originally the base building was supposed to be just kind of like a secondary feature, right? But players discovered that you can use it in such interesting and technically challenging ways to really raise the skill ceiling and push the game to its limits. Does that make sense?
Yes, but so is that considered a successful core, or that it's would you consider unsuccessful core?
I would actually, I mean, if you remember, Fortnite started out as like a base defense game, like a survival game, but it was in the what do you call it? I'm at a loss for words right now.
I'm new to the game, so I don't know much about it, but that's why I'm also asking like questions. I see, for example, like I just see the users, right? Like from the user perspective, like I had my brother-in-law come in, and he was really into Fortnite. That's what he likes, but then he also, you know, he doesn't like other games, and but it's completely different to your taste, right? You can like other games and not like Fortnite. But I guess
yeah.
yeah, I guess I was just wondering like what a unsuccessful core is, and I guess what are the challenges that um I guess yeah, these game builders face, and how you guys are approaching those challenges.
I think two unsuccessful cores, they can usually fall into two categories. You have technical shortcomings and you have creative shortcomings. On the technical side, I feel like a lot of developers will not understand their scope properly. For example, you have a lot of developers who they're making their first game as a studio and they want to make an MMO, which is a gigantic type of game with hundreds of players potentially around you at once. And even the biggest game studios have a hard time challenging that or taking on that challenge. So when you have people coming in doing their first game and it's too big of a scope for them, eventually they run out of gas, they run out of steam, they don't have the knowledge or the energy to continue trying to develop this, and it's pretty much a hopeless cause because the foundation they've established is not the kind of foundation they need for the kind of game they're trying to make. So then that project needs to be restarted as something else. In terms of creative shortcomings, something that we see a lot here in the blockchain industry um, is a lot of game developers are trying to just do the most generic version of an already successful type of game. Like you'll see a lot of first-person shooters in that are blockchain games, and basically they are a first-person shooter, and they're fun as a first-person shooter, but they don't offer anything new to the genre, and so it doesn't attract the player base that's needed to actually sustain the game. Um, you throw that same game into the traditional space, and it's just going to get lost in the crowd. And the only reason here
Right.
it stands out here is because it has blockchain support. And that's creatively, that's not really a good way to make your project stand out. You want your project to stand out because it genuinely has something unique to offer. So the way we're handling those two pitfalls is one, our scope is very small to start out with, and we can build on it if we need to. We just want the game to be fun and understandable by most people, and based on our testing, we've accomplished that. So now we just need to polish that. We don't need to get huge heads and try to make it a game that's too big for what it needs to be. And then creatively, it's really pretty unique in both the traditional gaming space and blockchain gaming space. So we're pretty confident that we can attract players from both audiences and make up a large enough player base that the game can continue and have value a year or 2 years, 5 years from now, like Fortnite or any other long-lasting game.
So for right now, how much experience is necessary for a user? Do they need to be somewhat like crypto natives to start, for example, to play Bushi?
Probably, I would say in the alpha phase, because right now alpha access is going to be for people who carry the Genesis or Bushi Access NFTs. Um, but in the future, when we're more open to people just signing up with their email, you won't need any blockchain experience. And that's kind of a big part of our strategy because we want traditional gamers to come into the space to ease them in a way that's they understand completely, that they're comfortable with. And then as they start to enjoy the game, see the perks of the game, they can start interacting with the blockchain side of things.
Right. And I actually want to go into the game here, but got one more question. So for you guys, were you guys like native to some of the crypto space before building on like secret, or I guess that's not a good question. I guess like my question is also, so can any developer build, I guess seamlessly on crypto, or where's like the border there where any native like crypto can a developer can build on this space rather than the Web2 space, or anyone can pretty much join and just build effortlessly?
I think right now for game developers is actually relatively, in my opinion, difficult to actually make a video game, a sustainable video game in the crypto space right now. I think that for like, you can kind of just think about it, how hard it is to even understand the technology behind an NFT, right? Or how difficult it is to even understand how like wallets work, for example, right? Well, to a person that's not native to the crypto industry, right? So like when I was first joining into the crypto world, I didn't know what a mnemonic seed was. I didn't know how, like, transactions work. Like what even is a public address? Like all these different words. So in my opinion, Web2 game developers really need to have a couple of years in the crypto industry for you to actually make a video game that makes sense, right? So as of right now, I think it's actually super difficult, even with the accelerator programs, the grants, all these different kinds of like help or guidance for the crypto industry. I still relatively think that it's not very user friendly for game developers. And so with that, you see a bunch of these different you see a bunch of different networks right now, or different programs right now, trying to educate these like new game developers. Like, for example, Immutable just launched, and they have like their own like grant process. They have their own like mentoring process. The Secret Network has a mentoring process for developers and stuff like that. But it's still super, super hard. I think in the future, it'll probably get a lot easier, especially like, for example, on the Onenet platform. I think we're going to take it upon ourselves for the very first couple of video games to really vet these game developers, to guide them throughout like creating a video game, like for right now, specifically like with their own central servers, and find a way for that to connect to the chain itself, right? Which actually brings up another portion of why developing video games is so hard, is because they can't really live on the chain just yet, because there's no technology that can handle so much computational power. But well, there are some that claim to be, but I don't really know. I've never tried it myself. So for them to have to work on a central server, but then understand and connect to a different server or network that they probably don't know too much about, it's super difficult, at least in my mind. So there's a bunch of technical challenges for Web2 video games to come out onto the Web3 industry, and that's probably one of the reasons why you see a lot of these like Web3 video games not having such a large scope, or being a browser-based video game, because it's way easier to connect from your browser to a network, right? So that's probably one of the biggest reasons why you see smaller scope video games, or like at least non-Unreal 4 or Unreal 5 video games launching on the Web3 platforms. But I do see networks trying to tackle this. I see a bunch of gaming networks trying to come out, like, for example, like Clan Network. I think they're set to be launching at some time. I just saw there was like a $6 million like seed round for another network that just launched on, or is launching on the Cosmos. I forgot who it is. CryptoCito. He did like an interview with them, but
Was it Passage 3D maybe?
It wasn't Passage 3D, but I do know Passage 3D creating the Strange Clan, right? So yeah. No, go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say, speaking on the Passage 3D, we have what? So you guys, how are you guys different? It's completely different, but how would you describe the uniqueness there in Bushi?
Yeah. So I believe from my understanding, Strange Clan is like an MMO survival type video game. Very, very large scope. I know that they've been I guess doing their mints, or their town mints, I believe, for like a year or 2 years now.
Yep.
And just to be frank, I love the idea of like not competing with Strange Clan, but coexisting with Strange Clan, right?
Yeah.
Just to really up the level of video games in general. But I think the biggest thing that separates us from Strange Clan is just the fact that we're ready to launch now. And theirs is going to take just a little bit of time. I think maybe a year or 2 years to actually get to where they want to launch. And then for them to get to where they would want to be, if what my scope in my head is correct, it's going to take them like 3 to 4 years to actually create a really, really solid like MMO experience. But for us, we're launching now. And this is no hate to Lex or Strange Clan.
Lex, they're talking.
No, dude. I've talked to Lex before on a show. I love the guy. But yeah, just for us, we're launching in a couple months.
Yeah.
And then fully launching in April of next year. And I think, it would be great to see Lex and his team put Strange Clan onto the Onenet platform, as just a way to coexist. But I don't see us as competitors. I see us as people who are just working towards upping the level of what video games should be in Web3.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's a good answer. No shots fired there. No,
I love you, Lex. Don't get it twisted, man.
I put him on the spot, man. They're just kidding. No, it's all about fun. I think honestly, everyone that is in the space is really excited. I myself am excited to be able to play this game. I think like there's a lot of people that hang around in crypto, and like not everyone is building. A lot of people just enjoy being part of the space, and so to hang out, playing a video game, shoot, I if I could do that right now, I would. So alrighty, so let's dive into the tech. I almost hate how like non-technical I am compared to Chango. Chango's like, dude, you like listen to her like podcast. It's all about technicals.
She's all about it.
Yeah. No, but let's try to kick it up a notch. Talk to me about this token. How is that going to work? What does the distribution look like? Is this does it have like a play to earn incentive? Is there any future airdrops? Drop me all the alpha you got.
I got it. I love dropping alpha. They know I love dropping alpha. But I'll just say that for right now, I guess this kind of leads back to like why some of the Web3 games right now are just super unsustainable, is the whole like play to earn model, pay to earn model, and those like walls that you can kind of see just to get into these video games, right? So for Bushi specifically, it is going to be a free to play game. So in April, when it's fully launched, it's a free to play game. And actually, a cool techie part about it is that there is an account creation for the Web 2 market and an account creation for the Web 3 market. So you can either create an account utilizing a wallet in which we actually don't even store your public key. We store nothing from your wallet itself. No mnemonic seeds, so you can't hack into our system and find mnemonic seeds or public addresses, stuff like that. We actually just create a unique ID after you create a permit from the secret network or from Kepler, and we only store that unique ID. And we kind of track your account with our central servers using that unique ID, which is nothing but really just like a number that we look at.
Would that be like an account, like a username kind of?
Kind of, yeah, pretty much. So it's just about like a username. And then of course, like passwords and stuff like that is like hashed and encrypted. So we don't even really have access to those. But then for the Web 2 market, we we absolutely believe that if you're going to onboard the next 100 million users, whatever the verbiage is for that, you have to tackle the Web 2 market, right? So we're going to do an email kind of like account creation for these Web2 users, which kind of goes against our whole privacy narrative that we really love, but we don't really see a way around it as of right now. But we're gonna allow that to happen, and then just slowly expose these Web2 people to the wonders of crypto, own your own assets, own your own tokens, play and earn.
Talk to me about that. Talk to me about bringing all the assets. How the token interopts with the game. What's the access there that people have? Tell me all.
So the token itself is very interoperable with every video game on the Onenet platform. Any game that is on the Onenet platform can utilize this token called One Token to pretty much do everything that they need to do within the video game. Bushi itself has a play and earn model where we have somewhat of a battle pass. If no one knows what a battle pass is, it's rewarding you for playing the game, leveling up your account, and then you can just earn while you're playing, pretty much, right? But I want to make a super, super big distinction that we are a play and earn model, not a play to earn model. The game itself isn't meant to make you money. It's not meant to get you a bunch of assets, even though you will, right? It's a game for you to enjoy, for you to have fun and just earn while you're playing. And have it kind of as an extra bonus. The NFTs themselves are relatable into the game as skins, as playable character models, upgradable skins. So you can actually upgrade your skin utilizing the token, and that'll be burned into the NFT metadata. So that's true ownership. No one can take that away from you. And you can trade and sell your items, NFTs, all within the same platform within our NFT marketplace. So it's huge in terms of you have true ownership of it, because when you're done with the video game or you're done with the skin, you can trade it or you can sell it, whatever it may be.
Which is the Web2 problem, right? Like if I'm playing Fortnite, they're already telling me to spend so much money on getting these skins and whatnot, and so essentially what happens is that for the people that maybe are not too much into gaming, you buy these assets and they stay locked in within the space of that game. In this scenario, we're in Web3, right? So you get to own your assets, and if one day you're just done playing, or I don't know, you just want to sell assets that you've worked really hard for, and someone just rather buys instead of grinding, they can do so. And I think that's the exciting part. I think that's what's going to bring a lot of people in, that because you in a way tokenize grinding, right? Especially if you get enough demand, and there's levels. I actually don't know how the game works, but if there's levels of grind and so much time invested, and then someone can just skip ahead and just buy that, making themselves happy, and then making the person who grinded happy as well. So you kind of create a win-win. So yeah, these NFTs that you're talking about, so are you guys also launching a collection prior? Is this going to be is this NFT what's the utility behind it? Does it have any utility? Is this the character that you get to play in the game? Tell me more.
Yeah, this NFT, so this Genesis collection NFT has a bunch of utility on it. And I don't even know if there's any other NFTs in the future that will have as much utility. So for example, this specific one gives you alpha access to Bushi, right? That's a no-brainer. But it actually gives you lifetime access to all games published on the Onenet platform. And Philip and Brandon can probably talk about this, but we have a bunch of video games lined up, thought about, and ready to be developed, or at least ready to be expanded upon. But it has that lifetime access with it, which is huge, at least in my opinion. You also get an exclusive skin at the end of alpha for you to have as a playable character model. It is an access to the DAO itself. So the DAO will be able to vote on things like what theme is the new season of skins going to be, or like I'll say right now though that the DAO itself isn't going to make changes to the video game, at least like right now from what I think. But they'll be able to like vote on things like what is the newest video game that's going to launch into the platform, or what is the next season skin going to look like. It is stakeable as well. So we've partnered up with Secret DAO. So shout out to Secret DAO. I think I saw you guys in there a little earlier in the chat. But we'll be using their platform, which is a DAO tooling platform, to kind of host our like DAO activities, all of our DAO activities. So voting, discussions, forum threads, treasuries, all that stuff is going to be within the Secret DAO itself. And having a Genesis NFT collection is going to give you access to that DAO. And then it's
so Leon, I have a question. So I've seen the NFTs. So it's like an anime style of NFT. But this is not the character that you play in the game, right?
It is not. No, this is more of like a OneNet specific like NFT. You could say it's kind of like a partnership between Bushi and OneNet. So we decided that it shouldn't be a monkey because it's like much more than just Bushi. No offense to Bushi, like Bushi is our baby, right? So, but it's gonna be much more than just Bushi. So we wanted to make it like a collection for a community that is for the Onenet platform and for all the video games on the Onenet platform. And the reason why we called it the One Collective or One Collection is because it is on the Onenet platform that utilizes the one token, because you only really need one place to do everything that you need to do, which is an NFT marketplace, launch your video games, manage your assets, all of that in just one hub. We just thought that, the One Collective are these early supporters, early community members that really believed in this one vision that we have as a whole. So that's pretty much the background of it without you having asked me. But that's why we made the One Collective. So it's not a character in the video game, but you do get access to an exclusive skin. You get to play the main character, Son Goku. And I think, yeah, that's about it. And will we have an anime character in the future in Bushi? I'm pushing for it. I think my devs here will probably fight me on it, but we'll see. So
right.
Yeah, that's pretty much the utility behind the NFT.
Devs, this is the time to fight. No, just kidding.
No, there's no fighting. We're definitely opening it up to a wide range of characters, but that's definitely for future announcements.
Yeah, actually, cool. Let me tap into that for 1 second. So the NFT craziness, we're seeing, I think the latest news was Tiffany Co. Partnering with CryptoPunks, coming out with, I don't know, I think they were like coming out with NFTs, and then you mint one, and then you mint one for like, I think it was like $50,000 worth of ETH. I'm not, yeah, something like that.
I didn't see the numbers, but I did see the Tiffany and Company.
Yeah. So essentially, what that gets you, right? Like the utility is, it gets you the a chain with the diamonds and all of that of your punk. So we have things like that. I run a project too called Hero NFT. And for example, we are, as of right now, we're a brand. Like I said, we looked into gaming, but is quite difficult. So something that someone like me and someone like Mike, the community looks for is, can they live right somewhere else? So would you guys give an option for like other NFT communities to bring a character in the future and play, just kind of have that character, kind of like the way Fortnite does it when bringing like Sasuke or like LeBron James, right? What do you guys think about that?
Philip, you want to talk
That's,
about the partnerships at least, and then I can talk about like alpha.
I mean,
I want
that's
to listen to
exactly
alpha.
what we're doing. We love to see other people's IPs in this battleground. We really designed the game to be a fair playing field for all characters. So that's why it can be really exciting. Like you said, LeBron James or Sasuke, having them go head to head in an even
LeBron
playing
James.
field is really cool. Like none of them have the advantage just because of the character they are. So for our current partnership right now, we're already working on getting Cataclops into the game. So Cataclops holders will be able to play as a Cataclops character in Bushi during alpha, and we have other things down the line.
Wait. I'm just making sure we don't say this the third
Yeah. There's
person.
other
Okay.
things, but we can't
He
talk
said,
about
he said,
those.
he said, chill, not yet. We're not ready.
I was just making sure because we'll get in trouble. But go ahead.
Cataclops was announced, right?
Yes, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
That's funny. I mean, and that's from a business standpoint, right? That's a great way to bring other communities in. Like if you're talking about, because you're kind of tapping into the community, like if the community is already strong, then you take some of that some of that energy with you guys, and again, it creates a win-win. You guys have the platform, you guys have the game, you're connected to the community, and the community is happy to be able to play in a character that they've grown to like. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I want to touch on it just like just a smidge more because I want to drop a little bit of alpha, not nothing crazy, but so partners are like a huge partners are like a huge thing for us, right? I mean, you can see the overall success that Fortnite had, like when they brought in who was the first one that they brought in? I don't know, someone crazy.
Travis, was it the rapper Travis Scott?
Yeah, actually, yeah, that Travis like concert within the metaverse, whatever.
And just so you know, that rippled and followed onto Travis Scott being given a deal by McDonald's.
Yeah.
McDonald's went on and on and on. So let's talk about it.
Yeah, so I love that idea, and we love the idea of like bringing on these celebrities, like imagine Dwayne the Rock Johnson and like in Bushi, it makes like a lot of sense. But in our world, in the web3 world, where we see so many communities like NFT communities, right? They need a way for them to continue impressing their communities and not just be like an exclusive club. No offense, like I love being part of exclusive. I have NFTs, and I love being in these communities, but there needs to be more sometimes. And so what we've done already is like take these like NFT communities that we love or have like approached us, and we've cut like pretty much a deal with them. It's like, hey, like we love your community. We want to be a part of your community. We want to experience your community, but we also want you guys to experience Bushi. So what do? We just create a model for them to create or to play in the video game. And it actually helps in the fact that it involves their DAO most of the time to like fund the creation of the character model, right? So it gets their community way more involved and like, well, at least in a process that is a really big stepping stone for them to continue living as an NFT community, right? So for example, when Cataclops came to us, Cataclops and I had a very good relationship together anyway, so it's not like they came to us. We kind of just saw a path forward. For me, in my head, I just thought it was another way it was a two-way street. It was like, it's another way for the Cataclops to be able to like do more with their NFT, but at the same time, we inherently add on to our community just from the Cataclops, right? And then like this is the alpha, and I'm not gonna say anything too much more, but the third playable character in the video
share
game.
Everything. What do you mean?
Nah.
Shared all. Leave it.
No, he's gonna get mad at me. But the third playable character in Bushi, it made sense, and now the people who have just been added into their community is now going to be added into our community, and at the same time they get to enjoy a game that is probably, in my opinion, is one of the largest video games in the cosmos. So they get to cement themselves as part of that video game. And so I was talking with a team just a little bit ago, and I was like, maybe we should just do more of this. Like maybe we just add on as many, like, no, not as many, because we have to think about development, but a lot of these NFT communities that we really love and really like, and like, I'm sure like even Hero NFT maybe could be in the future part of Bushi. shout out to Hero NFTs, but that makes sense. It absolutely makes sense for both of us, to both this new playable character and their NFT community to like coexist, mingle, be part of community. You know, it's the whole part of being interoperable is also being interoperable with other communities, at least in my opinion. Yeah. So there's that portion of it. And there's the last thing. We even thought about, or at least I even thought about, I haven't brought it to the team yet, but I thought about what happens if we can allow a specific holder of a specific themed NFT, like maybe number 105 of that NFT collection, and make a model that is based off of that model, and then have multiple models based off of that one NFT community, but have it like number 101, 102, 103, 104. If of course there's like development costs with that, but it could be a really cool idea to just incorporate a whole bunch of communities and people into the game. Yeah, sorry, I get excited when I talk about NFTs, huh? I love NFTs.
It's exciting. Man. Yeah, it's exciting. We actually at Hero, we partnered up with someone that was building. It's not Unreal Engine. It's the other engine. What's it called?
Unity.
Yeah, Unity. Yeah, mm-hmm. Unity. And that was cool. It brought a lot of excitement. It brought a lot of excitement. But I mean, Unreal Engine is just is completely different than. By the way, for the ones that don't know, so the engine itself, it's how do you describe the engine? Is it like what's the description of Unreal Engine?
As opposed to Unity, or in general?
No, just in general for someone that doesn't know what we're talking about.
So Unreal Engine is super powerful engine, probably I'd argue the most powerful one available to the public right now. It's been around for a long time.
Sorry, just Brandon, what is an engine? Just for
so yeah, when we say engine, we're talking about a game engine specifically, and all that means really is it's a collection of a bunch of utilities that help the video game development process. So video games are very, very difficult. If you don't have an engine, you have to do a lot of work yourself, because just even rendering the game itself to see like the graphics on the screen, that is a huge portion of the whole process. Audio playing, that's another huge portion that you'd have to code yourself. Particle effects, another huge portion. Networking, and an engine is just a collection of all those tools put together to enable you to develop video games faster and easier. And that's what Unreal Engine is. It's the most robust collection of all those tools available right now.
Yeah. And then to add to that, that's a great description there, Brendan. To add to it, I think, was it The Mandalorian? Like, if you guys see the graphics, was that built? I think that was built on Unreal Engine 5.
Yeah, they did actually use a lot of Unreal environments that they made in Unreal to put as their backdrops.
Yeah. So yeah, in summer you really do get the best of the best. It's exciting. I think you guys have a fun project here. Obviously, to think of 2 years of development is actually quite like unimaginable, unthinkable. It's especially in crypto time. 1 month feels like forever, and you know what I'm saying. In 2 years, it's like it's a lot, but there you go. It's something that you gotta preach it, and you own it. You own the hard work, and now launching soon. So I'm excited. I'm super excited, Leon. I'm super excited. I'm happy. I'm ready to mint whatever I need to mint. So if I'm the experiment, you guys are doing a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think with our mint, it is a way to like accelerate our process and our development, and scale it upwards. But for anybody out there who's like wondering, like, am I gonna get my worth out of this game? Not investment wise, but like just worth as in like being part of the community or playing the game. Like it's coming. Like you're probably gonna see a product much faster than you would normally like see a product when a when a company is in a seed round, you'll get to play in December, and we're so confident in that timeline because it's done. Like the game is done. We just want to accelerate it. We want to up the scale, and that's what you'll get in December. And then when April hits, you'll just get to experience the full capacity of Bushi. Well, maybe not the full capacity because there's always room for improvement, but yeah, that's what you're gonna get out of Bushi, and then or out of the mint, and then what you get on top of that is just things like DAO access, and then future games launching on OneNet, which again we have so many in line that we're thinking of, and of course other game development studios that are already reaching out, trying to host on our platform, get guidance, stuff like that.
Right.
I think it's something in the future that's going to be super, super cool. So
Yeah. Were you yourself, and anyone here is just out of love for gaming? Or are you guys just gamers and love the game, or what are some of your favorite games that you like to play?
I mean, I love video games. I think all of us here just spend majority of our time. If we're not developing, we're playing video games. We're all we're high school friends, so we're close enough that we can play video games together. But for me specifically, I'm a first person shooter kind of guy. Start off with like Call of Duty and like Battlefield, and then more recently like Counter-Strike Go, and then Valorant, Teamfight Tactics. If anybody plays that. Those are like the games I love to play.
Yeah, definitely a lot of CS:GO, a lot of Dota.
Dota.
Dang, no, I'm not playing as near as much as you guys, but this is it's something that excites me, right? It's coming from people that love what you guys do, and now building into Web3, which is the space we love, and yeah, introducing us into gaming. We all need something to do, so yeah. And then I guess one last question. So if anyone has also questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments. Dude, over here people are talking about everything. They said, I trust Leon with everything besides my girlfriend.
Oh my god.
We said, why can't you trust him with your girlfriend?
Yeah, I'm a super trustworthy guy.
Yeah. So official launch is expected 2023. Official, that's what they said, right? So yes.
That's projected. Yeah, of course with development anything can happen. So projected April 2023, but I'd probably just say Q2 of 2023 is a better like leeway for us.
Yeah. Okay, and then here's my question, just so it's clear. I gotta go through the reel sometimes a lot of times so I can understand it. So development, did development happen, or does development happen mainly like, well yes, obviously it's hosted onto like a Web2 space, right? We don't have quite the capacity to host it onto Web3, unless Akash just joins into the chat right now and tells us otherwise. But the question is, how do you implement? So once you've done building the tech in Web2, does the attachment onto Web3, is that a challenge on its own?
It's a challenge because there are very limited amount of blockchain developers out there. In comparison to like, Web2 devs, front end, back end devs, very limited amount of people specifically, like no offense to Secret Network. I love you Secret Network, but we just are short on developers who know our tech and our infrastructure. So
What language would that be?
I believe it's in Rust. It's in Rust, but you also have to understand, or you have to learn the intricacies of like a secret contract. So it's not just like a regular public contract. You have to think about like private keys, viewing keys, all these other like nuanced technology that I'm sure Guy, if you're listening to this, you'd love to talk about. But it's super hard because there's not many of them, but it's learnable, and we're actually doing a lot of things in the Secret Network to onboard more devs and educate more devs into being secret contract developers or just blockchain devs in general. But that's the main like issue, is that like how do you tie in the communication from the game to the chain? And that's super hard. So right now, like honestly, thank God that there's nothing out there that can host an Unreal 5 game on the chain itself, because that would be like extremely difficult for us to like wire our infrastructure around.
Right.
Akash, don't come in here and say anything, but there are a bunch of like I believe the network that I just mentioned previously that raised the 6 million, I think they're offering something along the lines that like you can host your video game on the chain. I don't know if that's real. I have to see it for myself. I'm super skeptical, but yeah, that's the biggest challenge is, do we have a bunch of developers that know how to make an NFT, upgrade an NFT, stuff like that? Not really. I mean, when you're competing against like Ethereum or like even like Osmosis or like, Juno, that take up all these developers because they have so many incentives, it's hard.
Right.
But we'll get there hopefully in the near future, that a bunch of people will just know how to dev on the Cosmos in general.
Yeah. Alrighty. I think we've wrapped a lot. So when would the NFT launch date be? Is there a date?
August 23rd is our live mint, and we actually just launched our website today, so there is a whitelist opportunity. There are giveaways going on, and those giveaways are like a guaranteed spot, kind of like putting yourself at not an advantage, I would say, but either way, the whitelist is limited. So go check it out and whitelist if you haven't already.
Yeah, take advantage of it right now, because whitelist it's easy to get at first, but right at the end, there's kind of bottlenecks. So take advantage of it right now. We're also doing like a little giveaway too. We'll do it via Twitter, if anything, later. So you get a chance. But no, guys, this is overall super exciting. I'm super happy that you guys are building this. I can't wait. I'm a supporter myself. So yeah, thank you, Leon. Thank you, Flip. Thank you, Brandon. Any last thoughts that you guys want to leave with before we close?
Philip, Brandon, anything?
Nothing from me. Just want to say thanks for the opportunity. It's a pleasure speaking with you. It's nice to meet you.
Super excited to see all the people who are optimistic about the project, and can't wait to get people playing it.
I'll show the project if you guys won't.
I always love to see people enjoying the hard work that we put into the game, so that's where it really all pays off.
Yeah.
And for the ones wondering, there is the pre-alpha game trailer. It's in their pinned Twitter. If you go to play Bushi, Bushi, you'll see the trailer. And I think this is the trailer this is really why we're having this call, right? Once we saw the trailer, we're like, okay, this is pretty cool, pretty awesome.
It seemed like that was the case for like the majority of the Cosmos. I don't think anyone was really ready for a game this size to just like say, hey, we're here now. So
Yeah, it looks super cool. So guys, please go watch it. And then lastly, why Bushi? What does that mean and why that name?
It's just like a shortened version of the word Bushido, meaning like warrior in Japanese.
Yeah, the game right now is set in kind of like a mystic. I don't really know how to say like mystical Japanese. I forgot the word that I used before.
Like a fantasy feudal.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
But
I also like the word warrior just because it implies, in the future when we have all of these different characters fighting, I mean, it just makes sense. They're all fighting as warriors in our arena.
yeah,
Exactly.
if you guys go look up the background of Son Goku, it's super interesting, and just Wukong in general. So super interesting if you guys ever have that free time.
Yeah, people are excited. Alrighty, we'll close. Thanks everyone who stayed in the call with us, and for the ones later listening, yeah, tune in. Go follow them. Is Bushi is Play Bushi on Twitter, and then launch OneNet for the hub for the platform. So thank you guys again, Leon. It was a pleasure. Flip, Brandon,
Thank you.
thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Have
See
a
ya.
good one.